right, so up next we have Acclamation. Right, this one. So this mod was, I really liked the premise of this mod. The premise of this was really cool. I liked it. I liked the idea of MC. I really liked the premise. It's really fun. The premise is very funny to me for reasons that I can't actually go into yet. All I can really say is it's an idea that I've thought about. That's all I can really say. But it is kind of funny that I played this mod because I did always think this was an interesting premise. You know, going into a world where everything is like topsy-turvy, everything's kind of like flipped on its head. It's similar. I think a mod that had a similar idea was Fleeting Feelings, where, you know, you go to a world where everything's kind of different, you know, and, you know, it was kind of cool. I like everybody had their, I want to say, had their beta club outfits, the like blue with the little yellow ties. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. It was kind of cool. Like, I liked the concept, but then like things just started going crazy. Things went off the rails in this mod very quickly, and I didn't know if I was supposed to take it seriously or if I was supposed to not take it seriously. I didn't know what was going on. Like, it started feeling like we were like treading into shitpost territory, and I didn't really know. The other thing is, I don't know what this has to do with hope. Because, like, that was the point of this mod. I feel like I should have explained that, I think, at the beginning. The point of all these mods, is they all had a theme. That theme was hope. And I'm not entirely sure how this mod showed that theme at all. I was just kind of confused. Like, there were some things that were funny, though I feel like some of it might have been unintentionally funny, though. And like I said, I really enjoyed the concept, but some of this shit was kind of crazy. No, there was actually some funny jokes, though, I think. I think there was actually some legitimately funny lines, if I recall. I remember actually laughing at some normal stuff. But, yeah, something like Sayori just, like, throwing a temper tantrum and, like, picking up Monica and throwing her across the room. Like, I don't know. Sayori just randomly going crazy at the end of the mod. Natsuki kind of just being a bitch for no reason. Like, I don't know what was going on. But like I said, it was upsetting because I really did like the concept. So I don't know if I think if the characterization was kind of fixed more for the characters, and if, you know, things were taken a little more grounded for the most, I think it could have been really cool. I also still don't understand what it's to do with hope, and I'm not sure if I should rank it on that, actually. Because I'm not really judging these on modjam, you know? Like, I'm not judging this on specifically on the modjam itself. I'm more so judging these just based off just them as mods, you know? As solo mods. So I don't really know if I could judge it based on the fact that it didn't have to do anything with hope. I can really give it fully props for was the premise. Because I really did like the premise, but then it just kind of started unwinding itself. And I was like, what's happening? Stop. Please, go back to what I thought was cool. And it just, then Sayori started throwing things. And I was like, Sayori, stop! I remember the thing that confused me the most was that after Monica being violently physically assaulted, everyone turned and blamed her anyway. Yeah, that was the weird part. Monica was blindly assaulted, and then Yuri was like, I'm very disappointed in you, Natsuki. And I was like, what? Like, Yuri, Monica was just, like, attacked, and Sayori just, like, became Broly. Sayori became Broly and just, like, attacked everything and destroyed everything. And she was like, if I were you, I would apologize to Sayori. And I was like, what do you mean we'd apologize to Sayori? Yeah, and there was, like, little references. Like, yeah, there was the reference to the exit music line, the no, I'm not fucking alright. But, like, that happened at a scene that I thought was supposed to be serious. So I was like, okay, I don't know what this mod's tone is supposed to be. Like, there was a bunch of clashing tones. I feel like I might have to give it a C tier because, yeah, I still don't know if the parts in this mod were intentional or not. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the tone was supposed to be still. I'm still very confused. But, you know, I liked the premise. I liked the idea of all of the girls wearing the beta outfits. But I think Monica was in character. In terms of characterization, I think Monica was in character. I know Sayori wasn't. I thought it was Natsuki. I think Natsuki was actually, like, really... Once again, this was another example of very bitchy Natsuki. But again, if they made them out of character was, like, supposed to be a part of the story or the premise, then I think that could have really worked. Like, they could have did something similar to Fleeting Feelings, where, you know, in this alternate world, the personalities are slightly altered. You know, maybe they could even be, you know, you could even go with, you know, them being more exaggerated. Like, Natsuki's more angry, and MC could even be like, why is Natsuki so much more mad than usual? You know, like, you know, something like that. But yeah, no, it just kind of felt, MC didn't seem to really realize they're acting differently, so I guess that wasn't a part of the story. Mayflowers, yeah, this one was the first song we played for the Mod Jam, and yeah, my god, all right, like, I remember we started off this mod, you know, it looked pretty, you know, I started off this mod, I was like, all right, let's go. We started off, I think this starts off, what is it, around, I think, the festival? I don't remember exactly when this starts, but all I know is, I really like this mod. Like, this is really good. This one was really good. I really liked Mayflowers. Mayflowers was really good. Because, like, this mod was, like, I don't even remember having any issues for it. Like, I don't actually remember having many problems. Like, you know, because the mod starts off with, you know, Natsuki and MC living together after, you know, after Natsuki left after her abusive, you know, parents, after abusive father, and they're living together. They already kind of cut a lot of the stuff you would see in other mods, which is fine. We get enough info and stuff for the backstory to kind of understand a little bit. And I think the mod itself is honestly, it's doing this on purpose for you to not really know what's going on, but kind of, because you're like, okay, they're kind of living together. But one thing I do like about this mod is this tackles something that I don't think is tackled a lot with these, with a lot of other mods do with Natsuki living with you, and that's the fact of, how the fuck can they afford that? And, yeah, what the mod likes to answer that question is, they don't. They can't. MC can not really afford to take in an extra person in his house. So, you know, he basically, it turns out that every night he, like, gets some beer bottles, he picks up some beer bottles, and he basically turns them in for profit. And, you know, they're kind of struggling. He's kind of struggling trying to do this. And, you know, and then eventually Natsuki finds out about this, and she wants to drop out of school and pursue baking. And I was like, and, you know, she does. Okay, so I think I remember the one thing I did have a problem with this. Okay, I think I'm starting to somewhat remember one thing I did have an issue with this. Was that eventually she does confront this with the literature club. And when she brings this up to the club members, Yuri and Sayori are totally on board immediately about Natsuki dropping out of school before it ends. And they're like, yeah, Natsuki, you should follow your dreams. We'll even go to your bakery. Meanwhile, Monika's like, what the fuck? No, you're not doing this. You're literally throwing your life away. And it's like, fitting for Monika. Totally understandable. Yeah, sure. I expected Monika to say that shit. Sayori makes sense. For me personally, I think it's Yuri's reaction that surprises me the most. I don't know. To me, I don't think Yuri would be super on board with that. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, the way I've always interpreted Yuri was that she would find education to be way more important. Like, I feel like Yuri, because I could see Yuri coming around, of course. Don't get me wrong. But I think if Natsuki were to tell Yuri this information, Yuri would be like, what? No, why would you do this? Like, Sayori being 100% on board makes sense, because Sayori always wants to support her friends. But I think with Yuri, the least I think Yuri would need is an explanation as to why they're doing this. Like, if they explained the fact that they don't really have a lot of money, you know, and they're kind of struggling, and Natsuki's doing this to help them, to help, you know, to help her and MC kind of be able to survive, then I think Yuri would kind of come around. But I think the fact that Yuri was immediately on board was kind of crazy. Like, I think it's crazy that Monica was the only one that was kind of hesitant about this, you know? I don't know. Like, I don't think Yuri would be so on board with this. But they did fix it. They fixed it because I think that was planned. I'm not 100% sure because I don't think I ever get any clear confirmation for this or not, because when Yuri does visit later and, you know, they're like, Natsuki, you've got company, and Yuri visits, and when she's talking to her, like, how everything's going, Yuri's, like, kind of nervous, you know? And it kind of feels like she didn't fully believe what she said, and she just kind of wanted to support Natsuki because she knew about, because she does know about the, actually, okay, wait, I'm thinking about this now. Yeah, wait a minute. Because Yuri does know about the financial issue they're going through, because she saw MC getting the bottles. So that means Yuri does know. That might be why Yuri is so supportive. Oh my god. This mod just keeps getting better. I'm just saying, like, what the fuck? Yeah, wait, that might be why she's so supportive, because she already knows. But I definitely got the impression from their conversation in the MC's house with Yuri that she didn't fully support it, because the way she asked, where she's like, "Are you doing all right?" You know, like stuff like that. You know, like she's kind of like, you could tell she's kind of concerned. You know, like she didn't seem like she fully believed the words that she said. So it's like, honestly, okay, so maybe again, I might have to take back my fucking claim. It's like, Jesus, is there anything wrong with this? The woman's right.
I'm really unfamiliar with this mod's game.
I really was unfamiliar with this mod's game. Because I also loved fucking, what was it? The Monica was like super upset. You know, after Natsuki leaves the club, Monica's like super upset and super like down. And, you know, I mentioned how that is super in character for Monica, because, you know, even if it's just like, oh, it's just one person left the club, Monica cares so much about her fucking club members. She cares so much about her friends. Of course she would be fucking down about this. You know, it's like, it made so much sense. And then I love that the way she fixed it was by actually, you know, supporting Natsuki financially, and I thought that was cool. You know, like she actually made a party with her, and not made a party. That was the other thing. The mod also threw me for a loop. I thought, oh, she's gonna order a bunch of cupcakes to help her and throw like a going away party. That wasn't what it was. She actually advertised. She helped her advertise her fucking thing, and I was like, that's a smart idea. Like, I feel like I would have been fine with both, but I was like, god damn, that's even smarter. Like, it was so good. I don't know, man. I fucking love this mod. The characters all felt in character. Fucking, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any distractions with any, like, weird music thing or anything. It's so brilliantly written. The script is S tier, in my opinion. I personally give it an A because of the music choice. It got repetitive. I hear my feelings one more time. We're to commit atrocities. Me, personally, I don't know. I'm not... See, for me, it never bothered me. I think my main shtick when it comes to, like, GUI and music, because that is one thing I was kind of going to say about the rating, as I did see the results for the mod jam, and I did see that was apparently the one thing that made this mod apparently not, that was the one negative for this mod, was that it didn't have a changed GUI or music. And I don't know, for me personally, I never really hold a mod to have to change to get new music or even to get like a fancy looking GUI, because I don't know, to me that doesn't really matter to me. For me, those things are always extra. Like, I put those, if I were to, the way I personally rate things, like CGs, GUI, and like custom music, these three things for me personally are they are just kind of extra, and you don't really need them, because in a way, for me, you're kind of taking a risk, in a way, because if these things are bad, you could significantly hinder the experience if you don't do it right. However, obviously, if you do it well, you can significantly enhance it. But if you just keep the base DDLC fucking text box for me, or if you just have, like, you know, the regular music, I don't really mind it all that much. Like, it's like, I don't know. I don't think, because I'm not really expecting people to have, like, custom music or, like, you know, fancy looking GUIs, because I mean, at the end of the day, many people working on these things, they don't have a budget. These people don't got money, and they shouldn't have to spend money. That's the one thing. I don't want people to feel like they have to spend money to make a good mod. And I feel like Mayflowers is a good example of this. I know, obviously, you can get, like, copyright-free music, and you could try to use that. And that is fair, but I also think that the base DDLC music isn't really that bad. Because I could see why people could say that, you know, they're like, oh, I don't really like it. I'm tired of listening to the base DDLC music. And I can understand that people are tired of listening to that. But I also feel like that could technically be an issue due to just playing so much DDLC-related media. And I feel like at that point, I feel like it shouldn't be blamed. Because one thing I know is that a lot of mods get the bad raps for... I think recently I've been seeing people be like, oh my god, this mod just does the Natsuki's dad problem again. And I'm like, so the mod gets in trouble for doing something that other mods have already done. But it's like, it's getting in trouble just because the person who played it played other mods. Because if somebody played it for the first time, they wouldn't have that problem. For them, that's the first thing that did it. So yeah, so it's like they wouldn't have the issue seeing the Natsuki's dad being her issue, because it's like, well, yeah, that's the first thing that did it. And also, it's not exactly unwarranted for that to be Natsuki's issue, because, well, that's her issue in the base game. You know, so it's like, so it's kind of something where it's like, for me personally, I don't really rank it all too much, unless it's like really distracting. But even then, I don't know. I feel like the mod had pretty well-placed music. I feel like they put the music where it needed to be and vice versa, and like, in such. So yeah, it's like... to be honest, nah, fuck my previous rating. It's an S. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, it's like... Yeah, yeah, it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like, because I have seen people say stuff like that, and I'm like, I didn't really understand it. I don't know, because I don't want people to feel that way. I don't want people to feel like, oh, you got to get the fancy GUI. Oh, your mod has to have the fancy CGs. This mod has 0 CGs. I want to point that out, by the way. Like, I remember I used to always use Relapse as the perfect example that you can make a really good fucking mod with no fancy looking stuff, but Relapse did have a CG at the end, so this one is now an even better example of you don't need any fancy things if you want to make a good fucking mod. You want to make a good fucking mod, you just have to just try your best, just have some really good writing, just be really fun. That was the other thing. That was the word I remember I kept describing while I was playing it. I was like, this mod was really fun. It was really fun and nice to play through. Because, like, nothing crazy was even really happening in the mod. Like, there was, like, no gigantic dramatic turmoils, you know? Like, Sayori wasn't about to go kill herself, or, you know, like, there was nothing super dramatic or crazy going on, but it was just so fun to play. Like, it was so fun. Like, I loved it. I just loved playing it. I loved the scenes. I loved the girls, like, talking to each other. I loved the interactions. Like, it was so fun. It was just such a fun time. Just gotta write a good story and make sure it runs well. Yeah, like, really, yeah. Just gotta write a fun story. Like, a fun story that makes it just fun. Like I say, you just gotta write a fun story and people will like it. That's all you really gotta do. You don't feel too pressured. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel like you gotta kill somebody. Like, don't think you gotta make an exit music. Don't think you're like, oh man, I gotta make someone commit suicide, you know, or you don't gotta have a giant tragedy. You gotta have problems, of course. Like, let me rephrase this. You don't want to make a, what was it, R2 Realities? I think that one was the one where, like, they literally didn't have, like, any like, negative things happening. Yeah, like, you gotta obviously have something happen. You gotta have a plot of some sort. But, you know, you don't gotta have something that's, like, severely serious, you know? You just gotta have just a fun, lighthearted story. Because that's really all it was. It was a fun, lighthearted story. You know? It was great. I hate the suicide trope. Yeah, I think people aren't really big fans of it at this point, also. And again, to go back on my further thing, I'm not saying, you know, every mod that has a suicide is bad. I'm not gonna rank it just because it's like, oh, all these other mods did suicides. You can't do a suicide. Like, you know, People can still do suicides as long as you write it well within your story, but also don't feel like you have to write a suicide. Like, you don't need one, because I do feel like sometimes people think that they gotta kill off a character or something because it's like, oh, that's just the thing DDLC mods do. It's like, no, you don't have to. Don't. Stop it. Very good. I loved Mayflowers. Mayflowers was magnifique. Beautiful. So now we have... now we have Hope. S tier, because we got Crazy Taxi. I mean, what? Like what do you want me to do? Like, I know the person making this definitely wasn't taking it seriously. I understand this was obviously like a shit post, you know? And it's like, and it was funny. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting, because I think the part I like about it is that they did get out of their way to make like a fancy looking logo and everything to make you think like, oh shit, dude, this mod's about to be like, you know, somewhat deep or something. And then it was like, yeah, no, you know, like, you know, it's just, what was it, 5 lines of dialogue? It was like, just know there are others who care about you and that you aren't alone. I mean, it had a nice message. I feel like I'd be trolling up on anything above C, to be honest. Like, I feel like I'd actually be trolling. I'd feel bad. I'd feel bad because I think, because, like, other people who have worked really hard on their mods, I'd be putting... I can't even, like, as a meme, put this in, like, a high tier, because I'd feel really bad if people saw me put, like, a mod that was like this, like, anything above their mod that they worked really hard on, so... I feel like I'd have to put this in C, just to keep it consistent, but... It was funny. It told a nice message. And say what it said was true. Remember, there's people who care about you out there. Lame. I'm not lame. I'm just thinking about the future consequences. 2 mods left. We have the debut of Super Sayori. So yeah, this one was the one where this one was also very hectic. This one was very similar to Acclamation, where it was very, very hectic. You know, it starts off with Sayori calling Yuri on her phone. Yeah, it was people being mean, and Sayori sees herself as a superhero, as Super Sayori. I had to remember. I was like, what was this about? I was like, right, yeah. She saw herself as Super Sayori, and, you know, she was going around being Super Sayori. Her Super Sayori clothes were just her in her casual outfit. You know, she saves Monica from a group of thieves. I do like the scene with the thieves where she's like, being a bad guy is wrong. You shouldn't do that. And he was like, being a bad guy is wrong? I never thought about it like that. It's like, I say we go back to my dad's bakery and get a real job there. Like, she just, like, tells them that it's bad, and they're just like, oh, wow, actually, I never thought about it that way. Like, I do like that scene. I think that was actually a really funny line of dialogue. It's got some references that I do feel like kind of kill the humor, though, because, you know, I don't know. As people may know, I'm not a big fan of just reference humor. Like, I think there's references to, like, Madam Web. I think that was obviously relevant at the time because the movie just came out. I think Sayori says, new phone, who dis? I think at some point. Either she says it or Yuri says it. I know someone says it. Okay, no, they don't say that. Yuri just says, oh, hey, Sayori, new phone. Okay. Yeah, and then she says, so, whose phone is it? I thought that was kind of funny. But there is a few, yeah, there is some lines in there that are kind of funny. And then it all turns out to just be a dream from Sayori, who just fell asleep during the club. And it turns out this is like a dream that she had, like, she was having before the events of DDLC. Because they mentioned how, like, a new member's showing up tomorrow and everything. It's cute, though. You know, it's cute. This was actually a really cute mod. I was expecting it to be like a crazy shitpost, but it honestly was really cute. I really did enjoy it. It feels like it gave me the same feeling I think I got from the mod in which Natsuki has a nice day and nothing happens. Like it was really cute. So I think it's a good B plus. Like it was adorable. I liked it. I think B plus is perfect because it gives me the exact like feelings I get from that mod and even mods like Doki Vision and stuff. Like it's a cute little mod that it even has a nice little message too after. Yeah, it was like about like about a nice little message about hope after too. All right, so now we're on the final mod, which is not very cute. This mod ain't so cute. This one's come on Google, hit me with it. Hit me with it. Say it with me now, Google.
Amnesty.
Amnesty. There you go. People want to say amnesty. Amnesty. So, this one was... So, as I mentioned, visuals, you don't need to do crazy stuff with visuals to have a good mod. Obviously, I still stand by that 100%. However, if you do them really well, then you can make something pretty fucking good, which Amnesty shows. Because I think another example is also not overdoing it. Because, I think the example of the end of the literature club is the example of overdoing your visuals and effects, where this mod uses it very well to tell its story. Because, yeah, this mod where we have a story about basically, I think it's a story about MC. If I recall, it's like MC and he doesn't fully like he feels like he's like not himself. He feels like he's like messing everything up and everything. Like he's scared of himself, and Yuri's trying to comfort him and help him feel better and everything. And then she like tells him to like actually remember the things. He's like having like bad memories of like all the girls like being scared and everything. And then he actually remembers what was actually, and he remembers like the actual good things and the good times he's actually had with them and everything. And it's really sweet. It's really nice. And again, like I said, the effects don't feel like they overstay. They're welcome. They feel perfectly like in tune with everything that's supposed to happen. Everybody gets a fair share of screen time too. All the girls feel like they're in character. So it is a story like fully centered around MC, which is kind of rare for some mods, because sometimes he's just kind of there and he's helping the other girls, where he's just kind of the main character. This one, he's the main character and he's the one kind of suffering the main issue, with no one else really having any problems. Their problems are resolved through his little flashbacks. It shows that he helped them like resolve their issues. But, you kind of like, it's mainly focused on him. He also has a different personality than most MCs too. He's way more eloquent. This is a way more eloquent man. I think Yuri even mentions how he'd make a really good psychologist. Like, he is way more eloquent than most other MCs. So he's definitely more different. And for me personally, it seems like Yuri definitely has, I could see Yuri liking this MC. Because I remember I've always said, like, in the base game, I was always like, what does Yuri even see in MC in the base game? Like, I can see why the other girls will like him. Yuri has no reason to like this man. Besides the fact that that is her only option. And this mod, I think, this is the type of MC I could see Yuri getting, like, being interested in. Like, he definitely feels like he's way more up her alley. I don't remember actually having any issues with this mod as far as I can remember. I don't actually remember I had any problem with it. It was nice. The visuals were cool. The music was nice, despite me being copyrighted for it. You know what? It got copyrighted music. It goes down to C tier. Honestly, I think I might give it an A. Not because I think it's bad. Not because I think it's bad. Let me clarify. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it really because it was really cool. I really love the visuals and everything. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if it really made me like love it, right? Like it was just a really good mod. Like it was really good. Because I don't want people to think like I'm giving it an A and they're like, oh wow, no S. Like no, like I think it was really good. It was good. I don't know. I didn't love the mod or anything. I just think it was really good though. It was very good. It was solid, amazing. It was really great. I was about to say like, I'd like A and S are the ones I recommend to people, but I'm like, honestly, I actually recommend all these mods to people. I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I actually recommend all of these to anybody who looks at this tier list, because I feel like I feel like people should play any mod. You should give every mod like one chance, you know, a chance, because you're not losing anything on trying them. You know, they're all free. You know, like, it's just, you're not losing anything. And for all you and I know, you might not even agree with me. Like, you know, it's like, I might put something in fucking C tier that someone might think is amazing, or I might think something's amazing that someone doesn't like. So it's like, that's why I don't even think people should even full on be like, I should only play the A and S tiers. Because, like, what if I put something in A tier that they end up thinking isn't good? What if they're like, you know what, Zero, I don't think fucking Yuri Parable's good. I think it kind of wasn't that good. And it's like, see, can't trust me. So it's like, you know, if you don't trust me on Yuri Parable, who can really say that I was right when it came to fucking normal VN, right? I mean, maybe someone loves that mod when they play it, and they're like, what the hell? Zero put this in his B tier? This mod's S tier for me, you know? So it's like, I think everybody should give all these mods a shot. You gave Cardboard Box an S. Your word is gospel. That is true. Nobody can dislike except for the S tier. No one can dislike the mods in the S tier. You're physically not allowed. Every mod in S tier must be enjoyed. If you say you don't like it, then you're wrong. I am the objective opinion for S tier. So, yeah. Now I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on the mod jam itself. Because, you know, this I think was the first time I have ever kind of collaborated a little bit, right, with something like this. And it was fun. I liked being able to play a lot of these. It was really fun to be able to play a lot of different mods and stuff. And especially considering for a decent amount of them were pretty short too. So it was actually easy for me to kind of digest. You know, some of them were short. Some of them were Mayflowers. Some of them took us a while to finish because of how long they were, but also because, you know, I literally left for Texas. Like, right when I started it. It was such bad timing. Like, it was literally like right when I was like, yeah, sure. You know, I was reached out. They were like, hey, you want to do like a little collaboration and play some mods that are being made for the mod jam? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll play some mods for the mod jam. And then, you know, we played Mayflowers. And like right in the middle of me playing Mayflowers, I had to leave to go to Texas. I think it was like right when I finished Mayflowers, actually. Like, we just got finished with Mayflowers. And I was like, all right, we finished our first mod. Let's go. Finish the first mod jam mod. Then I left. You know, I recorded like 2 before I left, I think. Because I recorded Super Sayori and I think the finale for Mayflower. So I didn't even record 2, actually. I remember I recorded the ending to Mayflowers and then Super Sayori. So then it took a bit. Then I came back and then we started actually doing more. So I don't know. Maybe next mod jam, if they ever do more of these, maybe they can... maybe there can be some sort of some sort of like runtime length or something. Because, you know, I can see it being slightly unfair when a mod is like super long compared to one that's short, because, you know, it's like you can make the argument sometimes people don't have too much time to flesh some stuff out, whereas some people had all the time to flesh stuff out because they didn't have a length limit. Maybe next time we think of like a runtime limit or something. Yeah, you know, I did like this. I liked the fact that there was a theme and everything. Now, of course, I did want to bring up some slight I think issues I had with the mod jam. They weren't anything like entirely, you know, major or anything. I think it was mainly just I wasn't a big fan of how these things were kind of handled, and I kind of, you know, obviously this is just my opinion. It can be taken into consideration. It can be thrown away. You know, it's just how I personally feel. One thing I wasn't a big fan of was I kind of wanted the community to have a little bit more of a voice when it came to the judging, I think, of the mod jam. Because if I recall, the way the mod jam was handled was everything was handled by, like, I think a few judges, right? It was like 4 or 5 judges, and their opinions were the final opinions on how the mods were ranked and stuff. The community, they got their own little vote thing, which was the community's vote, right? You know, they got something where they got to say which one was their favorite, and that mod won community vote, right? And it's like, I know that's what the Game Awards do, I think. Yeah, the TGA Game Awards do. But like, I'm pretty sure people even criticize the Game Awards for that because I'm like, I don't know. I kind of wish the community had more of a actual like voice when it came to these, because I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to see what like the general populace really thinks about a lot of these more so. Because it's like, I feel like the community voice is a little too restrictive. Like, that just shows what kind of is like a favorite, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it should be more so, like, I'm not saying to fully get rid of judges, I guess. Like, judges can be there, sure. But I feel like the community should have a little bit more of a say. Like, because for me personally, I think it should be like 50-50. Like, I feel like the community should, because I think people can feel more involved with it too. Because I almost feel like people don't really have a reason to play these almost because what? Just for the community voice? Like, it's like they don't really have a reason to really go out and play these on their own. Besides, obviously, they can play a new DDLC mod. Like, I guess they're getting content, I suppose, out of it. But I think some people would feel even more enticed to play it if they knew, oh shit, you know, I'm voting. You know, like my vote might actually matter. Like, I think the community should definitely have a bigger say in what ends up in the top 3, you know, or just the other rankings, you know. I don't know. I think it could be good because it's like I want to see how they would feel. I think they should definitely feel more. I think their voice should be more important. 1, 2, 3 it was judges plus a comment. There's the community vote. Yes, yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I feel like it should be like 50-50 with like community and judges. Like you can have some judges because the main reason why I say this and why I feel like the community should be the ones voting. Because I don't actually, I see, because I say that and I'm like, now I'm starting to think, I don't even know if there should be judges. Because here's my little point. It's like, to be a little devil's advocate, what makes the judges so, what makes their opinion more valued than what the community thinks, right? You know? Because it's like, because by this logic, it's like, okay, so what? These 3 people's opinion, this is what they think wins the mod. You know, they think these mods are the best. And it's like, all right, so these guys' opinion is more important than, like, little Timmy's opinion, who played a mod. And it's like, oh, what? Do they have their certificate in DDLC mods? Like, what? Like, what makes their opinion more valued? You know, like, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. Like, I kind of wish the community had more of a say, because I'm genuinely curious what the top 3 would have been if the community was able to vote, you know? Like, because I think that would be kind of interesting. I think the other thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was, so the top 3 was announced. Cardboard Box got 1st place. Mayflowers got 2nd place. I don't think anyone's surprised, but be shocked. But these are really good. But to be fair, all of the mods were good. But the thing that I'm not a big fan of is that, for some of you who may not know, there was another mod that got submitted. There was originally 11 mods. Exit Music Bloom. It was supposed to be a sequel to Exit Music. Was submitted to the jam. However, it was taken out from the submissions because the developer didn't really like it. He didn't really, you know, feel like he didn't really like how it came out, and he wanted to work on it a bit more before giving it a proper full release. So the only people who were able to even play that mod was the judges. The judges were the only ones who were able to play it because Exit Music Bloom doesn't have a proper release. No, you can't play it. Now, I couldn't even play it. You know, like, granted, I wouldn't want to if it doesn't have a proper release, obviously. But if the developer doesn't, you know, feel fond of it, you know, I don't like playing things that the developers don't like the thing they created. I'm not going to play something if the developer doesn't like what they created. So, I don't know. For me, but that still got 3rd place. And to me, I don't know. I don't like that. I mean, that feels weird because I'm like, why would the mod that the developer themselves is saying, I don't like it. I don't like how it came out. I need to go back and fix it. And they pulled it from the, you know, if they pulled it from the submissions, I feel like it shouldn't be counted, you know? Like, I feel like 3rd place should have went to a different mod. Because, like, that's the other thing. It feels kind of like other mods got shafted. Like, it feels like people who fully submitted their mod, they ended up getting shafted for 3rd place because, you know, well, a mod that nobody got to play ended up getting 3rd. And I'm like, that's kind of unfair. Like, the only people who know about this mod were the judges. We don't even know anything about Exit Music Bloom. We just know that it was an Exit Music Bloom. it was a big ass debate if we should include Bloom in the results. I'm glad there was at least a debate about it, because yeah, I personally feel like it shouldn't have been included. Like, I feel like if he wanted to submit it, if Lonesome the dev wanted to submit it to the thing, if he wanted to submit it, but he was like, oh, but it is not, but I don't feel strong enough to submit it to the community, then I feel like it should have just been pulled entirely. Like, I don't think it should have went through. Like, I feel like it should have definitely just not been submitted at that point. I don't know. It feels weird. I feel like third place should have went to a mod that people were able to play and able to actually see. Because again, if this is supposed to be a community event, I feel like the community should be more involved. That's what I'm kind of going with my first problem with the community vote being such a small part, is that if this really was supposed to be a community event, I feel like it should really try to involve the community more so in it. You know, like there should be more so in the decisions and stuff and everything. Like, I feel like we should be able to see what the community thinks. Because I know back, like, way long time ago, I think that's what made the mod awards so popular back in the day. Like, I know a long time ago, I don't know how many people remember this, a long ass time ago, we used to have the subreddit used to do the mod awards. Basically, people would vote for their favorite mod. And, you know, they had a bunch of different categories. It was, you know, best Sayori mod, best Natsuki mod, best Monica mod, you know, vice versa. And the thing was, though, it was all vote-based. It was all entirely based on people just voting. The community just gave their opinion, and they just went. You know, they voted, and that was basically what it was. And I think that's why people were so... I think that's why that got so popular, was because the community felt actually involved in what was going on. I feel like with this, when you have judges, it kind of just feels like people are just waiting to hear the opinion of like 3 or 4 people. Just I want the mod jam, if there were to be more of these, obviously. If there were to be more of these that are going to be run by the committee, I think it's what it's called, the DDMC committee. My personal take is just that I feel like it should be more voted. It should be more vote-based. It should like be based on people voting. People should vote on it so that people feel more interacted. You know, it feels more like a thing that people are actually involved in. They feel like they're actually doing something instead of just, oh man, I wonder what the 5 judges think. Because at the end of the day, like, what does that really mean? It's just 5 people's opinion. It's like the same way when I make these tier lists. It's why I always say, don't take my opinion as Bible. I'm just one dude. Like, I'm just one guy's opinion. Like, fucking my opinion doesn't matter. You know how many people fucking love fruits? It's a lot of people. And even if we end up disagreeing with the community, because I know back in the day when the mod awards came out, I know I disagreed with the community. I think I even made videos, I think, where I was sitting there kind of discussing my little thoughts and stuff and being like, this thing won, I think, or something. And even then, I look back at those videos, I think that's fucking stupid. But as I look back at those, and I think it's kind of dumb that I even made videos even like talking about those things winning, because I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like, oh, look at me. They didn't agree. The community doesn't agree with my opinion. Like, okay, and I'll pass the info to the rest of the staff team. I always appreciate the feedback. Thank you. I appreciate it. The only other thing I really have is, like I said, I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where a mod gets pulled again in the middle of the, thing. But if anything, that's also my point, though, with the community voting thing. If a mod doesn't get released to the community, then, well, we won't even have an exit music bloom situation, because that's the other thing. With these types of things with the judges, it's like you have the ability for things to mess up, where you can have people that can say, well, I'm just going to give this to judges, but I'm not giving it to the community. Now it's like the community can finally play everything, and, you know, it feels like its own little cool thing. Like, I like that. I think the only other thing I have is there should be a runtime. There should be a runtime rule that's put into place. Like, obviously, shouldn't be as strict, you know? He's something with like an estimated ballpark. Like, I don't think anybody should be like, what's that? You're 1 minute over the limit. Get the fuck out of here. Well, I think a runtime could probably be put in place, because I do feel like Mayflower's having like that much time to really flesh everything out could be a little unfair to something like, you know, even though Cardboard Box did do significantly well, as you pointed out, it was like you kind of had to rush it a little bit because you didn't want your mod to be super long. iRob said 30 minutes to 2 hours. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Something shorter than 5 hours, I think, is really all we need. I think just something shorter than 5 hours. Obviously, I'm not going to put in anything concrete because, you know, I don't really know right now. But yeah, I think anything shorter than 5 hours. But other than that, though, I think this was really well done, though. This was really cool. I did like this. This was really cool. I think that's one thing I liked about this. It wasn't a limit. It was after 5 hours. The judges aren't obligated to keep reading. Yeah, see, that's why I'm like, yeah, there should... That's the other thing. If there was a thing that the judges aren't obligated to finish the mod, I feel like that's another reason why I feel like the community should vote. Because I'm like, you know, the community's more likely to finish it because they don't have things they have time to do, you know? That's another thing, actually, I did really like about this. I wanted to point out, though. One thing, there was a lot of mod jams in the past. I'm going to be honest. There was a lot of these, and I wasn't really a big fan of mod jams when it came to DDLC mods. Because I used to think that us as a community... I feel like the way where we create mods, it takes a very long time. Like, we're not like Friday Night Funkin', where we can create something in like a week, you know? Like, granted, obviously, there are some Friday Night Funkin' mods, are the exception, of course. But, you know, it's like, a lot of times people can make like a Friday Night Funkin' song like that. Like, they just need like an artist, the fucking music, boom, you know, they can make a song. So it's like with DDLC, it takes a while. And I was never a big fan of mod jams a lot because I always felt like it was like taking people's attention away from potentially like super long projects that they were making. But one thing I also noticed about a lot of the older ones is the time like to submit. The time to submit was always like really short, I think. Like I remember before, some of them used to be like a week or like 2 weeks. And I'm like, that is not enough time for anyone to make anything like that they would be proud of. So one thing I do really like about this mod jam was it gave people enough time. Like people had, I don't remember the exact time limit for this, but I remember it was like, I remember seeing it and being like, okay, that is enough for like someone to make something like really well. I want to say it was like a month. Like, I don't know how long people legitimately had, but it was really fucking, it was a really good amount of time, I think. Cause it wasn't anything like too crazy, but it wasn't like anything too short. Yeah, I totally have been working on mod for like 2.5 years. This is not representative of. I took like a 1.5-year break. That's fine. Yeah, taking a break is fine. But yeah, like again, as somebody else making a mod, yeah, it's like I understand. Making mods are hard. Like this shit takes a while. So I am glad this actually gave like a really good long time for people to be able to work on it and everything. You know, it's like I think it was my main thing I really liked about it was that the deadline wasn't so close. I like that. I like that for sure. I started my mod like 2 weeks before submission date. Oh, you know what? That's your fault at that point. That's you doing your project. Well, to be fair, I mean, actually, well, 2 weeks. That's not bad, actually. See, but that's the thing. Yeah, it's like that's why the deadline was so good. Because, yeah, 2 weeks, you can make something in 2 weeks. But that's also your fault, though. And yeah, it takes a while. You just gotta sit there, and the best thing to do is to just make a mod if you're having fun with it. If you're having fun with it, then don't worry about time limits or anything. Just enjoy yourself. And as Equilibrium was talking about, it was like, yeah, it's also make sure to take breaks. If you're not feeling it, take a break, put it off. You're making this for yourself at the end of the day. I know some people can be like, you know, where is it? I want to see it. But, you know, if it's not ready, it's not ready. They just have to wait. You know, you're not making money off this. You have no reason to stress yourself out over it. I just checked. Yeah, it was 2 months. Yes, yeah, 2 months I think is really good. That's like a really good deadline for this stuff. Especially when people got like, especially when like writing block can show up and stuff, you know? Like, I think 2 months is really good. But, yeah, that's basically it for the tier list. Tier list is looking good. Once again, I might need to shorten A tier's mods once more because, once again, looks like we're running out of space. It seems like we have enough space in a lot of the other tiers, but it seems like A tier is once again. But S tier, we might potentially be running out of space, but I'm not sure. We'll get there when we fight another S tier. But that is basically, I think this is basically what this is looking like right now. Of course, if you want a full image of the tier list, it'll be in the description, so you can, you know, zoom in and see all the titles of the mods you like to see. And yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Zero. Peace.